Hola, mi gente. Soy yo, Gia. I am the Kaizen investor. I am here back again with another awesome interview. And tonight I am super excited because I have a special opportunity to speak with Justin, aka Truckin Justin. So let's bring him in. The man, the myth, the legend. What's going on, Justin? How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. It's nice to see you and meet you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Good to meet you also. Thank you for having me on.
This is exciting, Justin. So, Justin, for the two people on the planet who don't know who you are, let the world know who you are and what you do.
I'm Justin on Instagram. I'm Truckin Justin. I have a platform showing you the possibilities of investments made through transportation and what transportation could turn into for you and your family.
I love that. Justin, how did Justin turn into Trucking Justin? Where did this all begin?
Yeah, it became my first investment in a truck. When I first bought my first truck, it was Cascadia. And I
Mm,
got the truck and I didn't know necessarily anything about it. All I knew is you get a truck, you can hire a driver and it makes money. So
mhm.
from there, I just kind of freaked out and I started studying and I started reading and I started watching videos. I started calling people and just holding hour-long conversations just about the transportation industry, the trucking industry, and thus forth, gaining my knowledge and growing and growing and growing. And then when the money started coming in, I said, man, I really like this. So I said, I want to learn everything now. I want to be able to carry a conversation with anybody in the industry. So that's exactly the effort that I put in to be able to carry a conversation with anyone in the trucking industry or transportation industry. Period.
That's cool. Now, when you got your first truck, that Cascadia, tell me, what was the year of that truck? You remember?
That was a 2011.
How did you find that truck?
Found it from a dealership in Florida just by looking. And I think I got a reference over to that one and I started looking into the dealership and found the 2011 and just kind of just went from there.
Sweet. So you went from there, you got the truck, and then what was the process of getting the driver? What was that like for you? Was it smooth sailing?
It was smooth sailing. I think I got my first driver in like 4 days, 3 days.
That's
So
wait. Wait, what? 4 days in days you had your driver, sir. You were
yeah,
blessed,
yeah,
sir. You
yeah.
were blessed. Oh, that's dope. And then, okay, so how long was it before you said, okay, this is awesome. I want my second truck?
It took me. I sat around for maybe about a year and a half and
Hmm.
just ran the first truck and just got through the first truck, the ups and downs of getting through the first truck, learning the industry. Because one thing I didn't want to do is go and put too much on me, knowing that my knowledge wasn't built up to have more. You know what I mean? To
Mm,
sustain myself. So I just took the time to learn and took the time to let that truck produce, and just use that as its own investment. I let that truck pay for itself.
oh,
And
that's
so
powerful.
from that point, I went and got the second truck, and then immediately after that, I went and got another truck, and I just kind of just went from there off of fate. Right? We don't know if anything's going to work out. We just kind of get into it, but the hopes that it's going to work out. But if you put forth your effort, if you put forth the time to learn,
Mhm.
you will definitely go into an industry, and most likely you'll prosper and grow because you're taking the time to put forth the effort to grow.
Exactly. Oh, I love that. Now, when you had your very first truck during that very first year, what were some things that you recognized? Wow, I'm so happy that I started here with this one truck. What were some lessons that you recognized putting the effort to just start?
Well, the first lesson was mainly just learning the transportation industry. It's a big industry.
Hmm.
Trucking is a big thing. It's a big issue. It's a big topic. It's a big in-depth subject. It's all over the U.S. So just learning the moving systems, learning really what a truck hauls, why it may haul that, how do you produce money. It wasn't good enough for me to just learn one way. I wanted to
Hmm.
learn multiple ways of how to do it. So that inevitably led to me just striking out independently on my own and then learning that method. And then from there, learning more. And then from there, just growing. So something that really pushed me to grow was just I get scared when I don't know something. That's
Mm.
just a human trait. That's just with me. I
Yep.
don't like not knowing. I
Yeah.
don't like not having an answer. I don't like having to rely on. My main thing is I hate relying on other people for information. So
Hmm.
I'd rather know everything myself and know what I'm saying is almost right or just about right in that situation where I know I can guide myself to a good answer.
Excellent. So during that process of learning, what were some of the things that you decided that you wanted to study first in order to master this craft? Or not master craft, but in order to be proficient as a business owner?
The flow of money.
Mm.
I study how to make money. I study where the money comes from. I study how the money's paid out, who pays it, why they pay it, what type of percentile they're making. How do you get all of the money? How do you get a piece of the money?
Hmm.
I feel as though just like anything, like in the movies, right? They always say start with the money, follow the money trail.
Yep.
And that's kind of just what I did. I started doing this a certain type of way, and I looked at who was making the most, and I looked at why they were making the most.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, shoot, I could do that. I could do it just, same truck, same equipment. So I can go about and I can go learn this and I can go and progress that way. Just always follow the money. Start with the money. You get anything, look at who's in that industry making the most amount of money
Mm-hmm.
and then mimic it.
So you followed the money trail, and what did you learn thus far?
The money trail comes from 100% ownership of trucking.
Mm.
So, I mean, just typically being in control. Whenever you own the kingdom, you own the keys to the kingdom, you have say so. So with my business, I don't have to do anything I don't want to. My truck doesn't move if I don't want it to move. And when I had to actually put you on hold just then, that was a driver texting me. And, like we don't have to do anything we don't want to. I'm not subjecting myself to anybody else's wants and needs of my company but myself.
Now, how many moving parts are involved in your company? As of now, how many trucks do you have on the road?
I currently only have 3 trucks. So, I mean, I
Powerful.
would say only, but it
I
goes
don't like that
into
word only.
because I know some guys that have 10 trucks. I know
Yeah.
some guys that have 20 trucks. I currently have 3 trucks. I'm about to go get a 4th truck. And, I look at industries as how much real estate do you want to own?
Mm-hmm.
Because what do you want to do? How many multifamilies do you want to own? How many tenants do you really want to deal with? How many drivers do I want to deal with? How many actual trucks do I want to be liable for at one time?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how I look at investments. Guys go into business, you should look at how much you're willing to sustain, or should I say, withstand. You know
Mm.
what I mean?
Yes.
I have my operation. I have everything that I need to continue to prosper and grow as much as I need to, or as little as I need to.
What are some common misconceptions people have about the trucking industry that you've noticed over time?
That is difficult to
Mm.
start. Like back because I'm from Miami, so when I used to look at the trucks going down the road, and I would see like it would be Smith and Smith Trucking Company, or Publix, or
Mhm.
Costco, or any company, you always just assume that corporations own these companies.
Yeah.
That's the most uninformed misconception there is, right? Because what the corporations are. We are the corporation.
Mhm.
Corporation. Gia, Kaiser, you're the corporation. Justin's a corporation. The guys on Instagram that own the trucks, that own the LLCs, and own the insurance is the corporations. It's not that Publix owns 1,000 trucks. Is that we actually, as individuals, own more trucks than these corporations, and you yourself, as an individual, can own a commercial piece of equipment and run it for interstate commerce to produce profit.
Hmm. So with that, when someone is starting out, what is the first thing you feel they need to know first before they even think about purchasing their first truck?
I think process and systems. Understand the
Mm.
process. Understand how to. Understand what goes into that. The first thing about getting a truck, if you're not going to pay cash, is going to be commercial insurance.
Mhm.
Let's look into commercial insurance. What do they require of you? What are most companies asking? Do you stand within yourself a good enough candidate to receive commercial insurance?
Hmm.
What happens at the end process? Are they just going to tell you to put down 1%, or are they going to tell you put down 15%? Or are they going to tell you no down payment? And it all depends on your personal specific situation, but you have to understand your process. Get your knowledge first. Never jump into an industry without knowing. Like, I'm a course taker, I'm a book reader, I'm a video watcher. Sometimes I watch stuff that has nothing to do with anything that I'm doing. I might just have a slight interest in it, and I
Mhm.
just want to kind of learn more. It's almost like Discovery Channel. I just want to discover
Yeah.
more of what's going on in whatever industry or whatever business. So I'm always in the course.
So moving forward,
Mhm.
now we have 3 trucks. How did we get from not only being owner, now you're owner operator of your trucks, now dispatching? How did we get from A to B where we are now?
Dispatching started with me like 3 years, 4 years ago.
Mhm.
So I originally just started dispatching when I was under a company called Landstar, and that got me the introduction to dealing with brokers. That got me the introduction to reading load boards and understanding what's going on. It's a big moving world on there. There's a lot of information. You got to know how to cipher through it. And then when I went out independently on my own, it was just like first nature because I had already been doing it. I just struck right out and was able to deal. And I already knew kind of what they would do, what they wouldn't do, the process of
Mhm.
how to execute a load, how to get a load over to a driver, how to negotiate the best rate. Like I took baby steps towards it. So when I initially had to stand on my own, it wasn't like a daunting thing. And with me, what I do now is, of course, I teach you how to own your own truck, or I teach you how to open a dispatch company from home. These are all things that you do from the house. I'm home right now. You're home right now. I
Mhm.
own businesses that are from home that produce money daily, weekly, monthly. I never leave my house. And you said owner operator earlier. Technically, I'm not an owner operator. I'm just an owner. I don't have a
Ah,
CFO.
that's right. I
I
forgot.
don't operate. Yeah, I don't operate. So I employ drivers for their skill and I pay them for their skill set.
That is the most powerful thing you said yet, sir. And I don't think you even heard it, which is the fact that you don't have to leave your home, the fact that you're able to provide for your family in a matter that you choose with full control.
Yes.
How does that make you feel to create such a life?
I mean, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like it's the first steps to your own freedom. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Um, and I feel great about it. It's constantly something that you have to work on. It's constantly something you have to work to keep and maintain. But I mean, once you learn something like transportation or dispatching, you learn to have any business from home, and you learn how to make it produce throughout. What do we call this COVID-19 era? This,
mhm,
when you're still making money throughout this type of situation, you'll make money when it's not there. I'm gonna make money next year. I'm gonna make money the year after that. I did it through COVID. I've been doing it for the last years, and it didn't
mm,
slow down. It didn't necessarily really take a big hit. It's something that's forever. It's a resilient industry. It's
mhm.
specifically dealing with trucks, specifically dealing with transportation. America would stop if the trucks didn't run.
Yeah.
So it will be the last buck. If they ever stop trucks, then we're going into a lockdown for real. It's going to be what do you call it? Like quarantine for real.
Yeah.
If
I
they
like
stop
that.
trucks, so they never stop trucks. Trucks are the very last things that they're going to stop. And if anything, if you notice what happened now, last time with COVID, they took off a lot of restrictions. So you could then run loads quicker. You could get loads a little bit further than you normally were able to. It
Oh, I
depends
was
on
not aware of that.
what type of freight you're hauling, but yeah, trucks never stop.
Hmm. That's powerful. I had no idea they had lifted restrictions or at least lightened
Yeah,
restrictions.
they lightened up hours of service.
Good night.
So
All right. So now you created your course. And what does
mhm.
your course consist of?
My course is of course on truckandtribe.com. And the first course that I originally came out was I Have the Authority Trucking course, which shows
Mhm.
you how to own 100% of your company and how to own a for-hire transportation. And I came out with it because it wasn't necessarily a lot of working class people who understood this information that you yourself can own this company. You
Mhm.
yourself can start this business. You yourself, just like I was, working somewhere and started a trucking company and grew it and grew it and grew it. Then the second product that we offer on there is for guys that want to make money but don't want to own equipment.
Yeah.
It's my dispatch course. My dispatch course shows you guys how to start a dispatch company from home, how to get clients, how to produce money every load, how to produce money weekly, and thus forth from there. So this is for guys that want to do minimal costs out of pocket.
Mhm.
Trucking takes a little bit more, of course,
Yeah.
but the dispatch course is for guys who don't have enough money necessarily to carry that type of overhead or want to come out of pocket that much. Really, for dispatchers, really know out of pocket costs. Everything that I'm sitting with now, the cell phone, the laptop, is what I use to dispatch. So
That's
I mean, let's think
crazy.
about that. You already got everything you need. You might as well just let me teach you
Log
something
in and
that's gonna
learn.
that's gonna show you how to make money. You have it sitting in front of you right now. And then the thing is, it's all scalable. So it's not that I show you how to do it one time. I show you how to multiply it and continue to grow and grow and grow. You can start with one client. You can build to 3 clients. And then eventually, when you have enough trucks, which I show you how to get clients, now we need employees under you. So now you're capitalizing on the fact that now you have an employee and you're able to expand your workload. You have a thriving dispatch business. Multiples of trucks now. You have a thriving trucking business. These are all things with zero knowledge, zero experience needed. This is all from home.
And this is life-changing information. if applied.
Yeah.
And that's not like if like that, because there are many people, as you know, as we are all fully aware, who have lost their jobs and are looking for a way to create a new income for themselves in light of current events. And something like this is
It's monumental. I talk to
power.
a lot of people who have been furloughed. I talk to a lot of people who have been laid off. And I have some people, of course, in my course, because it's grown to the level that it's grown to, I have a lot of different people in there now. So
Yeah.
I talk to some people who have been furloughed and they tell me, man, this is paying my mortgage now. This is something that I'm never looking at going back to work for that company if they do call me back or if I have to go. I don't have to go look for another job. I am my own sustainable entity. I'm my own ecosystem. I survive within myself now. And that's power. What I want to teach is independence. What I want to teach is generational wealth. What I want to teach is you never have to go back to those jobs ever again.
Mm, that's powerful. One of my favorite truck owners is in the room. I gotta acknowledge her. Shout out to the one, the only, Erica. What's good,
Oh,
girl?
Erica, how you doing?
That's my girl. What's going on,
You're a
Erica?
classy clown. Yeah,
Damn.
my girl too now.
What's good? I gotta say hello. Someone had a very good question. I'd love to gather your thoughts on it, Justin. Patricia wants to know, do you have to be in the US to do dispatching?
No.
Wow.
So I'm gonna tell you guys something. A lot of times when
What?
I call on different loads, right? So when you're calling on different loads and you're booking out your trucks,
Mm-hmm.
you may talk to somebody that's in India. You might talk to somebody that's like, and I know it's gonna sound funny. There's no shade on anybody. I've talked to people who I know are in India.
Mm-hmm.
I know for a fact that they're in India. I can tell. Like, and I'm hearing it, and I'm like, hey, and I've even asked them, I'm like, where are you at? And they're like, hey, my name's, Michael. And I'm like, you don't have to be in the U.S. to do this. Is the point.
Wow.
This is for American transportation, but guess what? You're getting freight from American load boards. You're getting customers from American trucking companies. But you can be anywhere in the world and do this. Dispatch your truck or dispatch trucks.
You have my mind really rocking and rolling right now. I had no idea. Because the powerful thing about this is that, look, this conversation is totally self-serving. It's not about anybody in this virtual room right now. Because honestly, I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is a fantastic thing that can be started here and maintained by my family back home, if so be it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
If you wanted to hire people, that is powerful.
And then the cool thing is, I left my course with lifetime access. So as Gia, right?
Mm-hmm.
You start your dispatch company. You're
Mm-hmm.
now grown to 10, 15 trucks. Gia, you go get an employee, say your cousin or sister, whoever.
Mm-hmm.
How do you train them? You're going to tell them everything, or are you just going to put them on my course to train them?
I'm going to.
I wanted a product that kept giving. You're going to put them on my platform. It is the same course I took, take this and learn this, and then now they have stepping stones in place for you to teach them more. They're not just starting from the ground up. I mean, they're not just starting from the ground. You put them in the course of teaching them from the ground up. So you instead of starting them here, you're talking to them now from this perspective. So now we can teach you and build you into Kaiser's dispatch company.
That sounds good, by the way. I like that.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Shout out to my other sweetheart here, Tanya, Miss T. She said, Justin helped me educate me in getting my truck business up and running. He's great.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
When you have Miss T's seal of approval, then it's real, Justin.
Yeah,
real.
Okay. And this is like, a big part of what I do is to always try to do things with a good heart, a clean heart, and good nature. It's not about being popular. It's not about posting lifestyle. It's not about any of that. It's because I do this because I care about you and I care to help.
Mm-hmm.
I care to teach you. I care to help your family. I care to, if you desire it, I care enough to have put it together for you to learn from. Because a lot of times, I don't approach people with buy my course.
Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that on your page. You don't.
I mean, I do have to market, of course, because it is at the end of the day, bring a notice to it. But if you go through all of my posts, I have years and years and years and years and years of stuff. So as well as I'm saying, hey, go to Truckin Tribe, I'm showing you to go to Truckin Tribe because I just showed you a load that paid $5,000. I showed you a load that paid $3,000. I showed you a load that paid $1,500. Check the dates on there. Those are all within this week. I showed you, I'm showing you history on why you should, not just blindly saying go to. And I always found that when I approach stuff that way, it's more receptive energies that are that I can receive. You know what I mean? I'm not
Yeah,
just saying,
totally.
I'm teaching you the truck makes this much. Look at what I just showed you.
You're showing truth every single
Yeah,
time.
and I'm very transparent. I like to show you the good and the bad. If something bad happens, I put it on my account. I put
So,
maintenance bills up there. I put up my exchange one time, my text between me and one of my drivers. I'm just transparent. I want you guys to learn. That's all that really matters to me. If you leave it and you go away from me and you say, "Hey, I learned something," um, then it was worth it to me. And I got guys now that already in the course that take part in the weekly Zoom calls, which you get with the course. We do Zoom calls every Friday, and this is so you can ask questions to me or in network with the group. And then on top of that, I have like my own little Facebook group inside of my website. So you can then network with each other and talk to each other. If you have a quick question, maybe it's something I can answer right then. And you can just put your question in a group and I just automatically will reply. And I mean, at which the distance this has traveled is really amazing because when I originally started this, I didn't really see it as going this far. More recently, I talked to a person without me giving out too much information who
mhm.
is currently behind the wall. You
Okay.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they took the course, they applied it, and they ended up getting their company going. So it's
That's
like,
phenomenal.
yeah, so it's like this person that's
Ah, it gives me
in
goosebumps.
this situation can still apply the information. What can you do out here?
Can we talk about that for a second? Can we just go down that road just for a little bit? Okay, real quick.
Yeah.
How do you feel when you hear people make excuses about things that they say they can't do? Meanwhile, you hear these stories, you've experienced particular things for yourselves,
Hmm.
you've seen your other students make it happen for themselves. How do you feel when you hear people make excuses and say they can't?
I try not to get in the mindset where I even resonated within myself, right? It's your excuse. If that's your excuse, then that is what it is. But I'm never going to put a limitation on myself. No,
Mm,
to me, is just an opportunity. When I hear no, and that's the difference between me and somebody else. Some people hear no, they look at it as a roadblock. I look at it as an opportunity. I can get around this no. Like they're saying no, but I bet you I can get around this. And I think like that. I'm a risk taker also. So whereas you're only going to say, you know, this may not work, I'm going to say, I bet you it'll work, and I'm going to do it 2 times to show you that it works. And I'm going to bet on it like that. I'm a risk taker. So it's a certain type of energy you have to carry as far as wanting to be an entrepreneur is my point.
hmm So, Justin, let's talk about your students. What are some results or some experiences that you noticed that your students have had, positive experiences?
I mean, most of my students now have gotten their trucks running. I have guys that come in, and it's a thing, like it's an ever evolving thing. So I got guys
Mhm.
that been here since January. I got guys that just joined this week. So a lot of my guys that have already been in my course, they have their trucks running. Like this last Zoom call I did Friday, I got 2 guys on that Zoom call said that their trucks. One guy said his truck is currently just started running on the road, and the other guy says his is going to start this week.
Hmm.
In the dispatch side of it all, because I showed them how to market direct to customer instead of any other way. I like to come direct to customer. We have a shirt company. I'm showing you how to market to people that need shirts, not just everybody walking down the sidewalk. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? So guys in my dispatch or ladies also that I have in my dispatch course, these guys are getting clients weekly. They're getting new clients. They're onboarding new clients. They're learning, and it's kind of magical because it's like they come back to you. They're like, I got my first client, and then they come back the next week. I got my fourth client. I'm on my fourth. I'm like, wait, what happened this week? I got 3 more clients, and I signed up a guy. And then you talk to them, and as you see, you get to see their progression as entrepreneurs and their vision and their ideal and how they want to design their companies and what they did this week that worked or what they did this week that failed. And it's a tribe. It's a whole community around you to listen and help and ask questions and kind of grow with you. So if you do something that may not work, tell the tribe because your problem we may be able to help you fix. And sometimes that happens. Somebody will say something, and before I can answer, somebody else will chime in and say, "Well, this is kind of what I think you should do, and this is how I see that going." So, as well as a teacher, I'm now the student in that situation because I'm sitting there listening to their ideal, and I'm like, "Hey, that could work." It's about improving ourselves and making ourselves better entrepreneurs, growing our businesses. It's a network. Your network is going to be your net worth at the end of the day, and that's the truth.
Hmm.
I put together something where all of us are working together. All of us are learning from each other. It's its own little world. It's its own little island.
Ecosystem, yeah.
It's its own little ecosystem. We feed each other information. We work with each other with connections. Like this last Friday, somebody put up a direct to customer list that had like 1,000 people. Like I think I had like 500 companies on it that you could call and ask about different things for freight for trucks. And these are things called networking. You would never have gotten that opportunity if you weren't in the tribe. And this is what Truckin Tribe is for. And a lot of people, you know, when you come out with a course, they think it's about buying a course. The course and whatever price it is worth it, because you're going to be networking with people that's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
If I'm building a house, I want to talk to 10 other people that's building a house. I don't want to be building a house on my own lot, sitting there, not knowing how to do this or do that, when I can go to just 10 other people and ask them what did they do with that stuff.
I think one of the most powerful things you just said there is the fact that you're able to continue your education through networking, which is built in your course. That's very rare. Usually people build courses and it's like, okay, all right, last module, go free.
Have a nice day. Yeah, and it's like also, you know, I like it because of the current following I have.
Yeah.
I'm accessible. I can DM. I do currently have an assistant. She might DM some people on there. For the most part, it's grown and I can't get to everybody. But if you're in the tribe and you're on the Zoom call, guess what? I'm looking right at you. Hey, I'm addressing you. Hey, Mike, how you doing down there? I see you. What's going on with you? Did you get in the course? How did you like the course? What step are you at? What ideas are you having? What do you think you want to move on next? How can we just brainstorm together about you? And that was the most important thing about designing a community. I designed it, like I said, follow the money. I designed the platform from what I wanted from the back all the way back to the front. I wanted us to work together. Yeah, I reverse engineered it. I wanted us to work together. I already had the information. The information's always been there. I just said, what do I want to see from it? I do come out with it. I wanted to see us be able to communicate, which I feel is missing.
I'm excited to see what your students are going to build off of this because it's natural, right? Like Ms. T said here, it's building relationships, being able to build those type of relationships when other major opportunities come your way. The way you guys are going to be able to build and eat together is going to be so powerful.
Yeah.
So incredibly powerful. So give us a little insight. Tell me the day of the life. Okay, let's do two things. One, let's pretend that you can tell me the day of a life of a dispatcher. What does that look like? Then I want you to tell me the day of the life of someone who has that authority of a truck. Okay?
All right, well, we'll do the dispatcher first. All right, so a dispatcher would say, wake up. It all depends on what they have to do that day. If they have to book out a client, you're going to get on a load board right then and there. You're going to put in your destination or the origin of where their truck is and kind of see nationwide where you want them to go. Then from there, you will pick a load and then you'll decide to call that broker and negotiate on a load. And then from there, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, finish. I want you to finish.
And from there, you secure the load. And then from there, you articulate what you just did to your client. And then they pay you for that. And I know I said a lot of for theirs, but we're talking about maybe something that takes 5 or 10 minutes. I booked loads in under a minute before. I've had one load. My longest time booking a load was like 30 minutes one time. And I'm not saying that to be like, oh no, like it won't take a long time. When you first start, it's like a dance. You're getting your steps down. But once you remember the steps, you end up getting the muscle memory from it.
Yeah.
So now, whereas when I first started, it used to take me 20 minutes to do one load, 25 minutes. Now I'm quick on the phone. I carry the conversation. I direct. When I get on the phone, I don't want to hear all that. I want to hear this amount of information. Hello, goodbye. Tell me what I need to know, yes or no, goodbye.
And when you book the load for your client, is that load, will they go ahead and carry that load and go ahead and pick it up that same day? Are you booking loads for something that's going to happen a week from now or a day from now?
It all depends on your strategy of dispatching. Some people, what if tomorrow you already did it? You might be booking them out for, what's today? Sunday?
Sunday.
Tomorrow he already has a load. You might be booking them Tuesday to Wednesday.
Okay.
The Thursday, and it does fall from there. And that kind of hints on, how I started.
Okay.
A lot of times I don't have anything to do because I might do it for a certain amount of time out without me giving out too much information.
All right. So let's move forward to this, okay? Because I had to ask the question I got to ask the question for mi gente, for my people here. They want to know this. At what point, how is the scale of getting paid? How does one get paid as being a dispatcher? Did they get paid from their client? I'm assuming, yes?
Yes, you're
And
going
the
to get
percentage
paid.
of the load? What does that look like?
It all depends on what you choose, but the going average rate right now is 10% of load for
Oh
a
my
dispatcher.
word.
So
Lord,
I feel like 8 and 5 are very competitive, but if somebody tells me 10, I'm not surprised. I know that is typically about, and some people charge 15, 12. I saw 14% the other day somewhere.
14%.
Yeah, I saw 14%. Now this is 14%. Now this is just an example, but to tell you how the money breaks down, one truck
Okay.
can do 5 to 7 loads a week. My
Okay.
trucks don't haul anything less than $1,000 a day. So if you're getting 10% of that, it's already, 700 load or
Oh,
$700 right there from one truck. What if you got 7 of those and you're dispatching 7 trucks? So you kind of see the multiplication of how that works,
yeah.
just from a dispatcher's perspective. Now, how much money did you make running it as owning a trucking company?
If you have the authority, which we're going to next, then you get
Yes,
100% share.
yes.
All right. So tell me, what's a day in the life of a person who has the authority? They own their truck outright. What does that look like, sir?
It looks like this. I don't know how to explain it. That's what it looks like because most
Looks like
carriers.
smile.
Yeah, I mean, most carriers aren't dispatching their trucks, so you're going to need a
Yeah.
dispatch company.
Hmm.
So currently, if I don't do it myself, I have somebody who will do it for me.
All right.
But, I mean, essentially, unless there's an issue or a problem, this is what it looks like. Because as an investor, I'm not out there every day. There's no
Mhm.
reason for me to be talking to these anybody too
Yeah.
long. You know what I mean? This is what it looks like, and I mean, this is primarily it. Your truck's going to be out there doing whatever. The only time you'll hear from him is if you're having a problem. Which,
So,
and I always tell people, we're not naive. You will have a problem.
so what are some common problems that come up?
Of course, mechanical failures.
Hmm.
Anything outside of that, you'll never hear from them because it's in between them and the dispatcher. So,
And on top of that, mechanical issues. Can you tell me of one time when someone was driving your truck and things went left? Has that ever happened?
yeah, yeah, of course. I got enough trucks for it to have happened. I've had um, after treatment problems, which are the filtration system on the truck.
Hmm.
If you buy trucks the way I show you to buy trucks in the course, that won't be an issue for you.
Hmm.
Um, on the freight liners, they call them freight shakers because the pins on the steering go bad. I've had that happen to a truck before. I mean, mid load, he's like, "Man, the truck's shaking."
No.
I knew exactly what it was. They call a freight shaker for it because the pins on the steering go bad. So I had to pull it in the shop. I ended up not being able to deliver that load because it was in the shop and they had the mechanical bays were all taken, so then I had to wait. I had to wait like 2 days just to get the truck in there, and then it took like
2 days?
8 hours. Yeah, because they were backlogged. So when I
Okay.
called it, it was like, we ain't gonna be able to get to you till like today Sunday. We're not gonna be able to even look at it until Tuesday.
Mm.
So I couldn't drop that load that day. I mean, but all in all, what I always tell people, whatever issue you may have, your rewards in this industry are going to outweigh the bad.
Mm.
The type of successes I've seen, the type of levels I've reached in life, the lifestyle I live would not be possible if I didn't find this industry.
I'm just letting that sink in. Sorry, I'm listening. Expo Group said the course is very good.
Thank
Okay,
you. Thank
awesome,
you.
awesome, awesome, awesome. I just love hearing these stories. I love doing these interviews, Justin, because it's honestly more self-serving than it is for the public because it is so reaffirming the fact that when we make sure and we are willing to step out of our comfort zone to do something to invest in ourselves,
Mhm.
how much it will yield dividends.
Yeah.
Like,
If you invest in yourself, it's the greatest investment to make. Teach yourself something, learn something new. I only like learning things that make money. I mean, and that's the truth. I mean,
I
I
like
can
that.
I can learn anything, but honestly, by an inherent trait of personality, I only learn things that I make money from. Like you saw, my buddies here today,
Yes.
and I'm learning stuff about option trading. I'm learning stuff about. I mean, I just learned stuff. Anything that's attached to the dollar bill that's going to produce, I want to learn it.
Now, I love all of this. However, I also want to ask you this follow-up question, which is for someone who is transitioning, right? For
Mhm.
someone who is working a full-time job and they are interested in transitioning into entrepreneurship, what would you say to them? What would
Take
be your one tip?
because that's what I did. I started with one truck.
Hmm.
Go out there and get three just because you got the money. I'll get you one, learn the industry, learn what's going on. Get you one dispatch client, get you two dispatch clients. You know what I mean? That you're going to be dispatching for. Baby steps.
Hmm.
Because the greatest gain in this industry isn't the money, right? You would think it's the money. No, it's the knowledge. The knowledge will take you further than any dollar you're ever going to make.
Mm.
So people that are working a job, it's great to start. It's great to, if you never start, you never will receive the gift of being able to leave your job. So you have to start somewhere. I started somewhere. I got good at what I did.
Hmm.
I got where I started to stand on my own. I said, you know what? I don't have to do this that much longer. And I started to see the white light at the end of the tunnel, man. I really did. And I started just going to work every day. And it was just like, man, and even like not to say with like attitude, my attitude got
Mhm.
better. Like I used to do a high stress job. I used to drive trains.
Ooh, yes, that's stressful. My
And so
friend does that.
you deal with these type of things. And for me, even though I do still hold a license and I do still keep my license active, I
Hmm.
currently, um, just focus on what I do. You know what I mean? But it took steps to get to that point. So, and things about it is that although, yeah, I was making six figures a year. It's no secret. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Doing that, I was stressed. I used to deal with fatalities. I used to deal with all type of stuff. You don't know what that's like. I mean, yeah, so yeah, I was making the money, but I was miserable.
Mm.
This is the first time I felt happy doing this when it came to doing something like work related and that's the truth.
Jeez, Justin. Jeez, that's powerful. That's really powerful right there. Good night. Now, moving on to where we are now, I want to ask you this.
Mhm.
Because of, oh, actually, I don't think we acknowledged that. Justin, what sacrifices had to be made in order for Justin to be Trucking Justin, to be the awesome dad that he is today? What sacrifices had to be made?
You got to believe in yourself and you got to take a moment to not give up. And when I say that, it's so easy, right? So it's so easy to just say, I'm going to learn it tomorrow. I'm going to learn it next week. I'll do that in 6 months. Do that after her birthday passes. 'Cause I need that money to buy that gift. Or, the biggest thing is sacrifice. You're never going to receive if you don't sacrifice to receive. If you just keep
Yeah.
going lackluster about it, if you just keep not applying the pressure on yourself, if you just keep not trying for yourself, then you're never really going to advance. You're going to always be at your 9 to 5.
Mhm.
And don't get it wrong. I'm not knocking a 9 to 5.
Neither do I. I have one. I'm appreciative of it.
Yeah, I'm not knocking it, but it has to be more.
Hmm.
It has to be more. It just has to be. So if you don't sacrifice for yourself, and like, I know people that are like, some people never buy courses. I buy courses. I buy courses. I buy courses. I buy courses on anything. Like I see something, it's just real like click, click, order. After your credit card auto say click, 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 order. You know, it's about information. I
Hmm.
join groups, and a lot of things are just exposure. If you never
Yes.
expose yourself to it, you'll never know what it was that you could have had. So
Ooh.
sometimes we get so closed off mentally. I'm not trucks. Trucks. My uncle failed in truck. He's not doing well.
Yep.
Just because your uncle failed doesn't mean you. What if you don't make the same decisions you did? You guys are two different people. Why don't you give yourself your own ability to make your own story?
Yes. Just being willing to try. Just
Yeah,
being
be
willing
willing
to
to try.
just be willing to try. Oh, that's powerful, Justin. That's powerful stuff. So we heard that. So now, Truckin Justin, what is Truckin Justin's vision for his awesome community from here to 10 years from now? Where do you see that looking like?
I just see it growing and growing and growing, and I'm humble. I take everything day by day. And so it's not like I'm saying I want it in every household, but I just want as many people to be aware of this, which is also on my account. That's why my account's set up the way it is. Some people DM me and they're like, I never knew this type of money was in trucking.
Yeah.
And they're like, I got people in my family that never told me this, and they're in trucking.
You know, I want to ask you that question because I've heard this multiple times from different people in various aspects of the trucking industry, which is this. And I want to hear your opinion on it. Is it true that there are very few people who actually understand the full ecosystem that is the trucking industry? Right?
That's hard for me to answer because I don't know what everybody else knows. But I mean, I would think that a lot of people that I deal with that tell me, hey, I didn't know this until I saw your account. Because there's a difference. You're going to go to other people's accounts and anybody, personal pages, business pages, anything. I'm the only person that's showing you money.
Yeah. But I'm going to push forward. I'm going to push you back. I'm going to give you a little resistance because you're not showing solely money. The one thing that I truly respect about you, Justin, is that from day one, you have been transparent about your experience. You've been transparent about the fact that you have learned this from the ground up. You've been transparent about the fact that you've taken some L's. You have been transparent.
Yeah, transparency is the
key. Like that. That's
I think my highest maintenance bill I had is I put up a maintenance bill that was $6,000 one time, and I remember that thing hurt my heart. It did. It hurt my heart. I was like, how? Like, break it down to me one more time. You know, but it's a part of the industry. That one track. And the thing is, once I regrouped from that. And I got past it. I looked at it. I said, man, I crapped about that money, but look how fast I made it back.
Yeah.
Made that money back in a week. It was like, it hurt my heart. I remember that. And that's the thing, right? You know, what I was kind of hinting at is that a lot of people that have learned about trucking or are interested in trucking that have this idea of what trucking is, they never really fully understand it until they come to my IG and they really get to see it.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, you can make $1,000 a day, and I didn't know that this happens, and I didn't know that this truck had a part like that. I didn't know you could do that with a truck. I didn't know, like, so everybody has this idea of trucking, but you're not really going to get the experience trucking until you're shown trucking in a raw form.
Yes.
When I originally did my account, I thought about what did I want to see. When I go to somebody's account, I want to see the good, the bad, the ugly, the positive, and the negative. Show me everything, because oftentimes we know how people are successful in whatever industry.
Yeah.
But you never told me how you got to that. I know you're a millionaire. That's great, but you never told me what your first deal was like. You didn't tell me what your medium deal, the deal that got you into the millions. How did you go from the first house to the whole apartment complex? How you get me? Like, how did you go from your first truck? How did you go through your first truck to your 12 truck fleet, or fleets technically at the 5 trucks? How did you get to that? How did you said you made $2 million this year, 3 million, 4 million, 10 million. How did you get to that? What was your first million like?
Net or gross? That's my
net or gross.
Net or gross.
Net or gross. And how did you get to that? What was how did you make your first 100,000?
Yeah.
I like to just be transparent, because I was seeing different accounts in different industries, and it's always that long-standing question in my mind. How did you make the money? You build helicopters.
You got to buy the course for that. That's
like, you got a course to show me to build helicopters, and you showed me you're a successful helicopter builder, but you didn't show me how you got to learn how to build helicopters and got the money to start a helicopter company, to get the money to invest to show me how to build helicopters. And I'm just using that as an example. You don't get me, but that's the thing. Because now if I buy your course, I'm gonna know how to build helicopters, but you didn't tell me what it was like on the first helicopter to get to this. And I'm just using that as an example.
That's a powerful example, though, because it is sharing those experiences are necessary, because it validates for others that the experiences they're having are right, that they're still on the right path, that taking that L is a part of the journey. I love that. I got to shout out my buddy. What's going on, Chrisley TV? That's my other trucking buddy over there. Shout out to Chrisley TV. He's an awesome driver. So I want to allow the people, because I see it here in the chat. Hello, beautiful ones. I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes. Y'all got a whopping 15 minutes to ask some questions. I'm going to field these questions. So let me let the people, because they're clamoring. I see it in my comments. Hold on, let's turn this commenting on. Hello, beautiful ones on Instagram. Here is your opportunity to go ahead and ask your questions to Truckin Justin. I may or may not ask them. I'm just letting you know right now, but you can try. Okay, we'll give them a second to come on in. But okay, Justin. So you just broke down a day in the life of a dispatcher at the day in the life of someone who has authority over their truck. So I want to know this, and I need to know this before people go running out, because Black Friday is around the corner. People's gonna be gobbling up buying courses. However, I need you to do something that I rarely ask people to do. I need you to tell me and tell the people, because this is the public service announcement, who is this course for and who is this course not for?
This course is for guys that are looking to invest their money in a resilient industry, looking to learn something new, looking to learn to create generational wealth for their families. This is a very strong industry. This is for strong-minded entrepreneurs. These are for guys that know how to make last second decisions. A lot of things I do with my trucks are literally last second.
Oh, wow.
Something that happened and you got to be able to change your mind right then and say this. You have to be a leader.
Okay.
So who the course is not for is for people who lack execution, because there are steps to getting your own for your transportation company. And this is just in anything. If you lack execution, you're not going to do well in school. You're not going to do well at work. You can't execute in a relationship. You can't, you know what I mean? So people who lack direction, lack execution, lack ability to follow. I have certain things put in place for you to succeed. If you know you're not going to be able to follow them, then this isn't for you. You can't just complete the task. So.
All right. CPT Cheek on Keto says, how soon after purchasing the dispatcher course can I start the business?
Immediately. So as soon as you take the dispatch course and the trucking course, but the trucking course has steps to set up.
Yeah.
But like I got one guy who just did his whole trucking company in under 21 days.
Why, what?
And here's the thing. If you just follow the steps, it's there. Now with dispatch, it's even more immediate. You can start the very next day. Everything you need is in the course. Everything you need is, everything, contracts, templates. You don't have to look for anything else anywhere. You get it, you download what you need, you alter it, and I made it where you can personalize it. I thought about what I wanted and what did I want to see in the course, and this is what I decided to bring forward.
Good night, Justin. Just good night. All right. Someone else asks, how long does it take to get it up and running when you go through the course? I think you just answered that. You just asked, should I start? Well, that's up to you, but I'll let him. Someone asked, should I start to be a dispatcher first? What do you think?
It all depends on how far you want to make an investment. If you're just talking about a light investment, then of course, just go ahead and start dispatching, because if you build your dispatch company, a dispatch company can pay for a truck. And it's something that's going to make you money daily, weekly. So, and I have some people that have done that. They're telling me, hey, well, I'm going to start a dispatch company. So when I do go buy my trucks, my company can dispatch my trucks for me and at the same time make money to pay for the truck. So, and this goes into, I don't tell people two things. I don't tell people how to spend their money, and I don't tell them how to run their business. So for me, dispatching is little to no money out of pocket. Literally, like I said earlier, cell phone, computer, everything now is PDF.
That's sweet. So you can learn and earn anywhere.
Anywhere.
What a time to be alive. I'm just saying. What a time to be
Technology. It makes everything possible. I can show you how to do this in any country, anywhere you sit, as long as you got Wi-Fi, and you got access to call American numbers, area code.
It just gives me
show
goosebumps.
you how to make money from the house.
I'm just this, when you have me speechless, you've done well, Justin, and you have me speechless right now. Seriously. All right. Someone asks, what if I'm a broker? What does that have to do with anything? But what if I'm a broker? I don't know what that question really means, Sweet Pea. Do you have a payment plan for this?
Yeah, we do offer a payment plan.
Excellent.
Check out, just click the payment plan banner and then select what product you're looking for.
All right. Someone asks, how much money is needed for the trucking company setup?
I like to say $15,000.
Okay.
Because when you go for a commercial lending, unless If you're gonna pay it in cash, of course, it's gonna be more money because trucks cost more money than that. But
Mm.
when you go for commercial lending and they start vetting you through the process, they want to see working capital. $15,000 says you can handle at least 6 months of your payment and still have some left over for maintenance. You still have down payment for insurance. You get me? I
Hmm.
have one truck that I financed. I think I put down like 8,000 on that truck. I got another truck that I didn't do any down payment. I literally just pointed it, got the truck inspected, and did what I needed to do. They paid the truck right then, and the truck was paid like later on that afternoon. So I mean, it kind of if you do, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, damn if you do, damn if you don't,
Yeah.
because it all depends on your situation. Some people that take my course got 780s. Some people that try to
Yeah.
take my course got 550s. I can't tell you how much
Yeah.
to tell you for a commercial down payment. That's too criteria specific.
But the beautiful thing is that regardless, the options are still there
Yeah, the
on
options.
both sides.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful people. You got like 2 more seconds to bring in your questions because we're about to wrap this up. All right. As the people bring in their last questions, I want to know this. Once again, I'm going to be selfish again.
Okay.
When Justin wakes up in the morning, what's the first thing he does?
Brush my teeth. Like, I hope that's the first step for everybody, right? That's a trick question. What are you trying to ask me? Like, I'm like, did I answer that right? That should be.
No,
But
because it's always, you know what I'm always curious about with people, what are their morning habits and what are their habits? Because it is this, it's powerful, but it's simple, which is your habits make up who you are. So whenever I talk to people, I am fascinated of what their habits are because it gives me a glimpse of how they tick. And then I steal what makes them tick and
my
add it
morning,
into my life.
my morning habit is check my investments. I check where my trucks are, morning, afternoon, and night.
Mm.
Sometimes if I'm up in the middle of the night or up real late, I'll check it. I check their driving history, see if they took tight turns, if they've been speeding, hard braking. I kind of just check everything. Um, that's my first initial thing. I check and I see where everybody's at because that tells me how I need to proceed with my day.
Hmm. Oh, someone. I'm going to ask, but I'm sure he's going to say stay tuned. People want to know: are there any Black Friday specials coming, sir?
Stay
Stay
tuned.
tuned. Stay
Stay
tuned.
tuned.
I knew it. I knew it.
I mean, currently right now the course is 25% off.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, the course is currently 25% off. Um, Here's the thing: when you know you got a good product, you know that it's worth what you offer.
Yeah.
But yeah, just stay tuned, guys. Just stay tuned. I mean,
Seriously.
it's not a surprise if I just tell you. I mean, so
And technically, it's not Black Friday yet. So
yeah,
seriously. And someone said here, I'm looking forward to joining the tribe. It sounds awesome, doesn't it? It sounds
appreciate it.
awesome.
I appreciate it.
It sounds awesome. So, okay, last question, which is this. What are you thankful for, Justin?
I'm thankful for my family. They're
Hmm.
the reason why I get up in the morning. They're the reason why I've done all this. They're the reason why I had enough gut to go invest in something and learn. They're the reason why I continue to learn and push forward. I'm thankful for my kids. I'm thankful for my fiance. I'm just thankful for life. I mean, you got to
Yeah.
realize I grew up in Miami. Now, a lot of people didn't make it, to be honest.
Mm.
I got a friend, I wouldn't even say like direct friend, but he's an indirect friend that I know of recently. He's our age. He died like a week ago. His kid.
Mm.
So it's like I'm still close enough to see these things, but I'm now far enough away where I'm not around that. My story could have been totally different. I could have not had the opportunities. I'm thankful for the opportunities I've had. I'm thankful for the people I get to meet. I'm thankful for the ride because regardless if it's good or bad, I got a hell of a story. I mean, it's to live or not to live, right? It's like if I didn't do it, then I would just be living a normal life.
Hmm.
What about it is going to be exciting if I never deviated from the normal plan?
Oh, that was just good. I'm just going to end it just like that. Seriously, I'm just going to end it just like that. Ladies and gentlemen, Truckin Justin. Justin, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This has been an absolute pleasure.
Yes.
Justin, for the two people who do not know that you have an Instagram page, outside of that, how can they follow you and contact you?
It's really my Instagram is my own.
Mm-hmm.
At Truckin, no G. It's TRUCKIN _ Justin. Truckin Justin.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
in that
Thank you.
one, we are going to wrap up. Please hold on here, Justin. Let me end this broadcast. Beautiful people on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Until next Sunday. Besos, ciao.